I have some muscadines growing. I went to Ison's up in Georgia and ordered. I got three varieties, six muscadines. I got about four different varieties. And what I'm gonna do is just document over the years how they do. They put them in. This is December 2015. I put these vines um, in March of 2015. So I should probably get a little bit of fruit off at least one or two of these vines next year. But it takes probably about a good 3 years to get some production out of them. So I'm going to show you how that goes. What I did was I prepared these beds, get all the dirt from around them, did like a little mound. So when it does rain or if I have to water them, it'll focus right down the energy of the water will focus right down on going to the root system. Um, Also, what I did was early in the spring or late in the winter in March, I lined them because muscadines require a pretty high pH, I think between 6 and 7. So I know I hear the pH can get low, so I limed them with a slow acting granule lime. And then after I did that, I went later after they start coming out around June, um, maybe June when they start budding out. I put some triple 13 around them, and they did real well. They came out and grew some great vines, and all of them, none of them were touching the wire. Maybe one of them was long enough to touch the wire, but this one right here still not touching the wire. I got two pollinators. This is one of them. This is a late fry, and then this is my other pollinator. It is a isom, and it's supposed to be the biggest dark self-pollinator they have. And I got I got four females on each end of those pollinators. And the reason I got the females get bigger than the males. So I got this one right here. It's called a Supreme, which is a dark um, muscadine. It's supposed to be the biggest, sweetest variety of dark muscadine they have. And then this is a Darlene, which is the biggest gold muscadine. Matter of fact, it turns a pink color when it gets ripe. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I heard it's not a real big producer. Um, but it's the best quality, and sometimes it does put out a lot, from what I understand, but it's not consistently put out a lot. So I got two of them. Got another Darlene right there on the corner, and then I got this. This is a Pam, which is another big female muscadine, gold muscadine, and it actually grew the best. As you can see, it grew a lot. They were just little dormant rootstocks when I bought them, 1-year-old rootstocks, and they have grown real well. And I think they let me know that they're happy where they're at. Like I said, I just kept the pH high with lime, did some triple 13, and I redid the little beds around them because back in November I redid them, got all the weeds around them, put some new pine straw, and I put a little bit of fast acting lime around them, and I put a little more triple 13, so that way the root systems can continue to grow and develop over the winter while the plant is dormant. So hopefully next year they ought to come out real well. It is now mid-August 2016, and I am just showing you how the muscadine vines have progressed. We went through a big dry period, and they kind of, they stopped putting out new growth. Every now and then I'll come out here and put a little bit of water right down the base of them, but they are still doing pretty good. They're real healthy. They actually put out a few little muscadines on some of them. All of them put muscadine, a few little berries out this year, but the Darlenes. But like I say, they've done pretty good so far. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let them go dormant. I'm gonna prepare the beds up under them. I'm gonna put fresh pine straw down, like on this one right here. I'm gonna put some fresh pine straw down, and I'm gonna put a little bit of lime and a little bit of triple 13. But I'll show you that process when I get to it, and we'll let them go dormant. And I'll let you see how they come out next spring, and then I'll let you see how they look at the end of the summer, how much they progress. Hi, I'm back with the Muscadines. I didn't complete the video like I wanted because it is now 3 years later. This is April 2019. So it's about 3 years later, and you can see how they have gotten a lot thicker. The base of them, I've pruned them back in the fall, so now they're starting to come back out here in the spring. And if you can see, they progressed pretty good, you know. And I've kept up when they go dormant in the fall, I'll put some lime down, and so I can increase the pH and make sure the soil is neutral. And then in the spring, I come out with some triple 13. I just kind of been keeping that same progress, and I've also kept pine straw right around the base of the plants. Not too much, because I learned if you put too much pine straw, you don't want too much moisture around the base of the plant, because it'll cause it to rot. So I just put a little pine straw down, just enough to keep the weeds, deter weeds from going up to the base of the plant. And they have grown pretty good. I'll come back in the summer. I'll come back and show you how they look with the berries on them and I'll also come back when they beginning to get ripe. To show you how they've done over the years. So, all right, here it is, August 2019, 1st of August, and you can see they have big, nice berries on them. These right here are in the process of getting purple. There's a few that's probably right. If you'll notice, I got netting pinned all the way to the ground. If you ever I found out I had a problem with squirrels eating my muscadines when they get ripe, so this year I'm gonna cover them up with these nets to see if that helps. So far I hadn't had any problems, but that's why they covered up with nets. They've done good. As you can see, they got loaded with berries. As you can see, they got plenty of berries on them, and they'll probably be ready to. They got a few here and there that can be harvested like that, and but for the most part, you know, they are probably about a month away from harvesting. They really start getting ripe around the end of August, 1st of September. And these are some gigantic ones here. Look at the size of that muscadine. That's about 1.5 inches wide right there. But I've had a lot of success with these muscadines so far, and they progressed real good. They've even gotten very thick at the stalk. They've gotten thicker over this past year, as you can see how thick they've gotten since 2016 when I first planted them. The varieties I have are female varieties. I do have some pollinators, but what I recommend is the Pam. This right here is called a Pam. It is I get them from Ison's nursery, and it is a female, and it puts out a lot of muscadine. This year it actually didn't put out that many. It was but that's typical of muscadine. Some years they'll give off years. Now this muscadine right here is called a Darlene. It's also a female, and I highly recommend that one as well. It actually put out quite a bit this year, and that is not typical of a Darlene. They usually put out, you know, a moderate crop every year. I guess every now and then they'll put out a bumper crop like it did this year. So that's why I got 2 of those vines. But it is probably the best muscadine that there is, as far as taste-wise. When it gets ripe, it'll get like a little pink blush to it, kind of like that one. And it's probably the best thing you want to put in your mouth by far. So this and the Pam are females. I got this one right here. It's called an Ison. It is a pollinator. It tastes more like your traditional muscadine. It's a good wine making grape. However, I don't really make wine. I like the fresh eating kind. This is also a pollinator right here. It's called a late fry. I highly recommend this one because you can it's kind of like the best of both worlds. You get a pollinator, plus it gets ripe a little 2 or 3 weeks later than the rest of them. It probably get ripe at the end of September, in October. I've even seen a few berries on here in November. So, and it's very sweet. It has the characteristics of a female because it gets real big and gold, and it's just an excellent fruit. And so the quality is good, and it's a pollinator, and it gets it puts out a later crop, so you don't have so many muscadines ready at one time. You got a little bit extra. I also highly recommend this one. It's called a Supreme, and it's a big female, black female muscadine, and it is a high quality. It's probably the highest quality one you can get. It's another one that Ison sells. It's called I think a Black Beauty, and it has a little bit higher sugar content than this one does. But the thing about the Supreme is it puts out a bumper crop, whereas the other black varieties that have high sugar contents like that Black Beauty, they don't put out, you know, the quantity that this one does. So overall, to me, it's the best black female variety you can get. So it's a Supreme. So that's why I did. You can see them. I got them growing all the way down here. Now I'm gonna have to cut this vine off because what you want to do is you want to do them 20 feet apart because you want to have room for them to grow 10 feet on each side. So this one right here is probably growing about 20 feet on one side, but I'm gonna trim it back because I did about 2 new ones, which this is another late fry because I like that variety so much and I wanted another good pollinator. So I got that one again, and I have muscadines a little bit later in the year. And I also got this another Supreme because I got 3 gold varieties. So, well, 4 gold varieties. So I want to have one more black female. So I highly recommend those 3, the Supreme, the Darlene, the Pam. Then 2 pollinators I got is the late fry and the Ison. So if you like winemaking, if you're into winemaking, you might not want the female varieties, but I like more fresh eating. So, and you can still make wine out of any of them. But that's how it is. So that's how they progressed over the years.